I'm John. This is a story about a certain day off. The night before, I had been drinking late, and I was feeling a bit hungover, so I thought I'd take a nap. I was just dozing off. Then, my phone started ringing. Overcome by sleepiness, I ignored it at first, but it was so persistent that I checked the display, and it was my boss calling. Yikes! What's up? I decided to answer the phone with trepidation. Hello, how can I help you?
Hey John. You're slow to answer, aren't you? It's not simply, how can I help you? You, my friend, have done something unbelievable.
Right off the bat, my boss was in a rage for some reason. What's going on?
I came back from a business trip and I'm shocked. I went into work today, and there's a delivery waiting for me. What's with all these cardboard boxes? It seems like you ordered them. But why aren't you at the office?
Cardboard boxes. What are you talking about? And as for why I'm not there.
Just get to the office now. Right now. Come and explain yourself.
Excuse me. Right now. I'm supposed to be off today.
Off today. You can really afford to be that relaxed. You don't remember what you did yesterday?
Yesterday. Yesterday I was.
$300,000.
Excuse me, $300,000.
That's the damage your ordering mistake has cost the company. How do you plan to take responsibility?
Wait a minute. I can't think of any reason for this. Besides, it's impossible for me to do such a thing.
That's why I'm saying we need to talk in person. Just get to the office now.
And with that, he hung up. I had no idea what was going on, but I didn't want to be suspected, and I had a bad feeling that ignoring this could lead to something worse, so I reluctantly decided to go to the office. Hello, boss.
You finally showed up. While I was on my business trip, you did something outrageous. How do you plan to take responsibility?
Like I said on the phone earlier, I really have no recollection of this.
What did you say?
I was not involved in any ordering tasks yesterday.
What? Don't lie.
I'm not lying, there's no way I could have placed any orders.
What are you playing dumb for, you?
As much as you say that, I resigned a week ago.
What? Resigned? No way. What's going on?
My boss began to panic. I officially resigned the day after you went on your business trip. So, I thought I'd say goodbye before you left, but you didn't even look at me, just nodded along without really listening.
You're saying I didn't listen?
Yes, that's right. You didn't listen, or should I say, you ignored me. So, I guess you didn't know.
Wait, I heard you were leaving, but I hadn't heard you'd already resigned. I'm the boss, you know. How could a boss not know about his subordinate's resignation? That's ridiculous.
With all due respect. I think you're the only one who didn't know I had resigned. Saying that, I looked around, and including the department head and section leader, most of the employees were nodding their heads in agreement. Seeing this, the boss started to look pale.
That's ridiculous.
When I talked to you about resigning, you said, all right, you're free to go, didn't you?
Huh? Was that so? I don't remember any of that at all.
Since you didn't take me seriously, I proceeded with the resignation process with the department head. Ultimately, it was you who approved it. I am officially resigned from the company. You don't remember?
Huh? Oh, we did have that conversation, didn't we? When was that again?
So, boss.
What?
That ordering mistake wasn't me. I couldn't possibly have made any orders in the first place. After all, I quit a week ago. Do you understand now? The boss started to panic, desperately looking for an out. Suddenly, he seemed to have an idea.
Hey, acting like that is useless, you know.
Though he said that, it was clear the boss was panicking. No, I'm serious. I think someone else must have made the mistake in ordering. So, I couldn't have done such a thing. Don't you believe me? Besides, since resigning, I haven't come to the office once. It's impossible for me to have made the order yesterday. I thought I had explained my situation clearly and that he had understood, but the boss thought differently. He leaned back in his chair and looked at me with disdain.
Do you think anyone would be foolish enough to believe such an obvious lie? All you're saying are things convenient for you. How could I trust your words?
He completely denied my words, looking down on me with a clear attitude of disdain. In that case, can't you check somehow?
Look, this has already been checked, that's why I'm talking to you.
What do you mean?
The name on the order is John. It was clearly logged from your system and ordered by you.
What? Why? As I said earlier, I haven't been to the company since I resigned. I can't log in. I returned my computer to the HR department. It's impossible.
But there's undeniable evidence right here. This invoice, it's in your name. This is an undeniable fact. How do you explain that? Unless logged in from John's system, your name wouldn't be here.
However, I no longer possess the company's computer, and without checking in at the reception, I can't just enter the company. So, it's physically impossible for me to come to the company and operate a computer. You know that logging into the system can only be done from a company computer, don't you?
Of course, I know, but there's already a fact that it's been logged into. Are you saying you somehow sneaked into the company? Or maybe you placed the order from home? That's something you might do. Being a former employee known for your excellence, you should be able to do as much.
While calling me excellent, the boss snorted with laughter. I got a bit irritated. That's impossible, I've already returned my company ID.
Then why is your name still there? That's what I've been asking. That's strange, isn't it? If you're excellent, answer that.
That's precisely why it's puzzling. If my ID is still usable, then...
It's not puzzling at all. There's evidence, just admit it and it'll be easier, huh?
Could it just be that the HR procedures haven't been completed yet?
You know as well as I do that login passwords are assigned individually, right? Besides, every employee is the only one who knows their own password.
Indeed, that's true.
So, it means that only you could have logged into your system.
I have never shared my password with anyone, for sure.
You're basically admitting you're the culprit, you know.
But I haven't been involved in anything since I left.
That doesn't make sense, look at this.
Saying that, the boss showed me the ordering screen where my name was listed. It does appear to be logged in with my system. Could it have been a fraudulent login?
You really are a piece of work. Just admit it already. Just saying, I did it. I'm sorry, would settle this.
I can't do that. I won't admit to something I don't recall doing. And about the $300,000 in damages, you're going to ask me for that. I absolutely can't do that.
Of course, that's what would happen. I wonder if you, having quit your job, could pay. I'm worried, really worried. You've really gone and done something outrageous.
The boss was being incredibly persistent. So, I decided to change the direction of the conversation. By the way, can't the ordered products be returned? This supplier is someone we've had a good relationship with, right?
Oh, that company you secured a contract with before, John.
Yes. Perhaps if we talk to them, they might understand.
That's impossible.
Why is that?
Don't you know? The products you ordered this time were custom-made. I checked with the supplier, and they said returns aren't possible.
I see. But is it possible to deliver custom-made products the day after ordering? Doesn't that sound a bit odd?
They started manufacturing right away without any doubt because the order came from John. All the trust we've built up until now has backfired this time.
The boss kept provoking me more and more.
So, what are you planning to do?
As much as you say that, it truly wasn't me who placed the order, so the only thing I can do is uncover the truth to clear my suspicions.
What? Did quitting your job make your brain go soft? Of course, the person who placed the order should take responsibility, right? It wouldn't be strange to be asked for damages. By the way, I've already reported this matter to the president.
Could you show me the login screen again, please?
Are you even listening to me? Well, looking at it won't change the facts. Go ahead, look all you want. I've already told the president that John is coming in today. The president, who must be quite angry by now, will be arriving soon. You better brace yourself.
This.
What?
The last login was at 8 p.m. yesterday, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, so what?
That's great.
What do you mean, great?
It looks like I'll be able to clear my suspicions.
What do you mean?
At 8 p.m. yesterday, I have an alibi. And there are several people here who can vouch for me.
Meaning?
Yes. My colleagues threw me a farewell party yesterday. At my words, the boss suddenly looked around. The employees around were all watching us. From among them, the colleagues I drank with last night came over to us.
Boss, we were definitely near the company with John and a few other peers yesterday, right? Remember, the place where we had the year-end party before. Don't you remember?
That's ridiculous. You're just making this up.
Why would we need to do that?
We wouldn't. And there's absolutely no need to.
If you don't believe us, should we go check with the bar? We got along well with the owner, so he should remember us from yesterday.
That old man's memory can't be relied on.
The testimony from the peers suddenly made the boss's actions seem suspicious. Wait, what's going on all of a sudden? You praised that bar's owner, didn't you?
But we were at the bar by 8 p.m. yesterday. Oh, by the way, we were the last ones to leave the office yesterday, right? It was just after 7 p.m. Nobody else was there at that time.
Even if nobody was there by 7 p.m., there's evidence that John made the order. You think just because you resigned, it's none of your business if the company suffers a loss.
Excuse me. I never said such a thing. And I don't think that way. Stop making baseless accusations.
It's obvious you must have sneaked in after everyone left. It wouldn't make sense otherwise.
As I said earlier, around 8 p.m. was the peak of the party. People gathered for me. There's no way I could have left.
But here's the decisive evidence. As long as this exists, the responsibility is yours.
Despite all the explanations and testimony from my peers, It seems the boss is determined to make me take the blame. Okay. If you insist, I get it. You really want to pin this on me, huh? Then, let's check which device was used to log in. I really didn't want to do this, but...
You can't possibly check which device was logged in from.
No, I think it can be checked. I said that and glanced at my peers.
Boss, leave it to me. I'll clear John's name. If it was an external access, we have to take the appropriate action.
Is that even possible?
Give us some time, and I think we can do it.
No, don't bother. It's a waste of time.
The boss, perhaps panicked by the remarks from my peers, started shouting.
But...
What now?
What if someone logged into John's system and intentionally placed the order from within the company?
That's enough, I said.
Why? I don't want to be suspected for no reason. And it's been reported to the president as John's ordering mistake.
You're persistent. You're an outsider now, just go home. I'll sort this out with the president. Be grateful. Wait, you called me here against my will. If I go back now, it'll just end up being my responsibility, right? Quiet. Just go home. And you guys, I said no need to check. Get back to your work.
What's going on? Why are you raising your voice and denying it? If there was truly an external breach, it would be a serious issue for the company.
Is there a problem with checking? Just then, the president of the company made a timely appearance.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your work today.
President.
I've heard the whole story. About the $300,000 in damages.
President.
It's all right, it's all right.
Why is that?
You guys don't need to investigate anymore. Those of you who have work, please return to it.
But, President.
President, I'm sorry. Though he's a former subordinate, it was my lack of oversight. My sincerest apologies.
MHM, I've heard your apologies earlier. So, let's have you explain properly.
Yes, but as I reported earlier, there's no change in the facts. Do you want me to explain again?
What I'm talking about is the $300,000 ordering mistake.
As I've reported before, it was due to John's mistake.
Don't you think that's odd, considering everything normally?
What's odd?
Why would John, who has left our company, need to do something like that?
Well, that's something only the person involved would know. I don't understand why John would do it.
If you were in John's shoes, would you log into your own system to make an order that could disadvantage you? I certainly wouldn't, no.
I couldn't believe it either. That such a ridiculous order was made. Was there some grudge?
This must have been an order made out of spite, right? That's the only explanation.
John, why?
No, it's not me. Please believe me, President. I really...
I understand. I get what you want to say.
The president said to me with a kind smile. That is.
When I heard that John made an ordering mistake yesterday, it felt off to me.
Why? There's always a chance for such incidents, isn't there?
Because I knew that John had resigned last week. He came to say goodbye on his last day, although it seems you were unaware. Now I remember. John resigned the day after you went on a business trip.
That is. However, that alone doesn't prove John didn't do it, right?
Actually, I happened to be at the pub where they were yesterday. With my wife.
Yesterday. I'm sorry, I didn't notice. We were having such a good time, I wasn't paying attention to the surroundings.
Ha ha ha, there's no way you would have noticed. I went after you guys had left.
What do you mean?
Actually, that bar is an old favorite of mine. The owner is a friend of mine.
Is that so?
I thought it might be awkward for you guys if you knew it was my favorite spot. So I had kept it quiet that the owner and I are friends. Then yesterday, the owner told me, your employees were here again for a farewell party. Always so polite and great at drinking. He mentioned that.
So that means.
Yeah, the only person who's recently left is John. It was clear that it was John's farewell party.
President. So, you believe me?
Of course.
That's a relief.
Well, but John, your boss said, you can't rely on an old man's memory.
Why would you know that, President? Since when have you been listening to our conversation? That's not what I meant, that was.
So,
Yes, what is it?
how long do you plan to keep playing dumb?
Excuse me. What do you mean?
Why did you try to trap John? I'm not looking for the person who made the ordering mistake. I'm asking you for the reason behind the order.
What are you saying? Me ordering, that's.
There's no escaping it. I had the login history checked. It was logged in with John's ID from your computer. Besides, you're the boss. You know the ID and password of everyone in this department, right? Right? So, let's hear it.
It was the boss after all. Why? The boss, who had been downcast at the president's words, turned to glare at me.
That's because you were in the way.
In the way.
You were in the way. You.
Did I do something? Besides, my resignation was already decided.
I didn't think you had already quit.
So, you admit it? The boss probably didn't expect the president to personally check the login history. However, confronted by the president's assertion, the boss defiantly admitted it.
Yeah, I did it. I thought it would be good if you got fired for causing the company a significant loss. That way, you could never take my position in the future.
I was speechless at such a childish rationale. Me, take your position. When was that supposed to happen?
Wow, you've done something incredibly selfish for such an absurd reason.
Well, it's out now, so there's nothing I can do.
Nothing you can do. I still have other things I want to hear from you.
What else is there to talk about?
You've done this before, haven't you?
At the president's words, the boss twitched.
What do you mean?
I've understood why talented people keep leaving. I've been blaming myself for not realizing sooner.
Ha. I had no idea about that.
You've trapped many talented subordinates in the same way, haven't you?
That's. Stop making baseless accusations.
I was scared by how calmly the president was talking.
Baseless accusations. Don't make me laugh. There have been several incidents of large ordering mistakes like this before, right? All reported by you. No mistake there.
Yes.
And all these large ordering mistakes were made by your former subordinates. And they were all talented individuals.
You're saying I did that?
Let me ask you then, you haven't done anything like this, have you? Why did you realize that John was innocent? Have you forgotten the reason?
As the president spoke, the boss slumped to the ground.
Yes, that's right. They were obstacles to me.
So, you intentionally caused damage to the company.
Yes. In exchange, I got rid of them.
The boss spoke vehemently but suddenly changed his tone.
But that's all in the past now, and you're not the type to dredge up the past, are you, President? So, please forgive me.
Forgive you for intentionally causing such a huge loss to the company. You've also derailed people's lives. Do you really think there's someone who would forgive you with just an apology? Do you mistake me for some kind of saint?
Realizing the seriousness of the president, the boss started to beg on his knees.
Please. I beg you. I'll accept any punishment, a demotion, a salary cut, anything.
Oh. Is that so? You had such a naive thought. That's surprising. You think you can still be part of my company after doing such things? You're unbelievable.
So, that means.
Of course. You're fired. Do you know?
Yes.
I was standing at the door and overheard part of your conversation with John. Do you know what you were saying to him?
What might that be?
The one who ordered should take responsibility.
Did I say that?
You don't remember what you've said. You said it clearly.
Ha ha ha. Did I? I don't remember saying such a thing.
I heard it clearly with my own ears. Well, there are plenty of witnesses. I'll return those words to you exactly as you said them.
Such a large amount, I can't pay it. Impossible.
No, you will take responsibility. For everything, the full amount.
The boss was in a daze as the president ordered him to pay compensation.
Excuse me for a moment.
With that, he disappeared somewhere.
John, I'm really sorry for dragging you into this after you left.
No, it's okay. But there's something I've been curious about, may I ask?
What is it?
Is there really any evidence left of the people the boss trapped before me?
Oh. Clever, John. I suppose you figured it out. Of course, that was a bluff. It was still at the suspicion stage. I had thought it was strange. They were conscientious employees, not the kind to do such things. But he confessed so easily. I was surprised too. Ha ha ha.
So it was a bluff after all. The employees in the department, relieved to know I wasn't involved, went back to their tasks. And the boss didn't return to the department until I went home. Thus, my suspicion was cleared, and the boss was fired as the president declared. The compensation, amounting to millions, was decided to be paid in installments. Now, I'm working hard at a new company. I still go to the president's friend's bar occasionally, and recently, I bumped into the president. Over a drink with him, I learned that my former boss had been abandoned by his family and is now in debt hell. It's his own doing. But somehow, I have come to feel sorry for him in many ways. It can't be helped though, he has to make up for his mistakes. I hope he learns his lesson.